Circles are showing up a lot more on the SAT lately, and this problem combines circles and perpendicular lines. So it's a little bit tricky, and you need to pay very close attention to what's going on. First, you have a circle that has a center at -1, 1, and they show you the circle, so that's pretty easy, right? And line T is tangent to this circle. What does that mean to be tangent? Well, if it's tangent to the circle, it means it just touches it at exactly 1 point. There's an additional piece of information that's helpful here, though. What does it mean if it's tangent? Well, it means if you draw the radius to the point of tangency, it's going to create a right angle. What does that mean? Well, it means that these two lines are perpendicular to each other. Well, let's see how that's actually helpful. Line T is tangent, and it goes to the point 4, -3. Which point also lies on line T? So if you want to, you can do a little bit of elimination here. I can see 0, 5/4 is here, so that's inside the circle. That's not going to work. I can also eyeball 3, 6 and see that it's going to be not near the circle. But then I'm still stuck with C and D, and I need to figure out which one of these is on the line T. So the best way to do this, just write an equation for line T. Remember y equals mx plus b? Well, how can you figure out the slope? I know the slope of this line, of the radius, because I can just say that the slope of the radius is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So for this, we're just going to do -3 minus 1 divided by 4 minus -1. Watch out there, because this is always going to be 4 plus 1. So it's -4/5. That is the radius. So what does that mean about a perpendicular line? What's the slope of line T? Remember, perpendicular lines have slopes that are opposite reciprocals of each other. So the slope of line T is 5/4. Now I know that line T is y is equal to 5/4x plus b. What do you have to do next? Well, we have a point 4, -3. I'm going to plug -3 in for y and 4 in for x, and they actually make it kind of easy for you here because you can cross cancel out those 4s plus b, and we end up with b is equal to -8. So now you have the equation of the line, which is 5/4x minus 8. So you've now eliminated A and B, and we know it's C or D. How do you figure out which one's on the line? Well, simple. We're just going to plug each one in. I'm going to start with C here, because see how I'm dividing by 4, and there's a nice 8 there? That means I'm going to end up with a nice number. So I have a calculator, but I always like to do this in my head if possible. -8, and I am really just trying to figure out if this is equal to 2 when I plug it in. So 5/4 times 8, if I cross cancel, I end up with 10 minus 8. Is that equal to 2? And yes, it is. So the answer here is C, and you can move on to the next one. You don't need to check D, obviously.